There are certain things that you could buy today that will make you glow up. These are things to help you improve your appearance, your physique, and so much more. Now look, items like this do not have to be expensive. Today, every single product that I'm gonna be showing you is all relatively affordable, starting with crest whitening strips. My smile is probably one of the most complimented things about me. A good smile is just very attractive, it's just more inviting, and people are gonna like to talk to you. In fact, just making your smile better by whitening it, I would even say that this is making you a more charismatic person. And by far the #1 thing that has helped me improve my smile are crest whitening strips. Now, I like to use these about once a month, and that's honestly because I don't really struggle with yellow teeth. Despite drinking a lot of coffee, a lot of soda, I still keep a relatively white smile. Now, that being said, I have been lacking on this, so I'm gonna restock on this very soon. So this is honestly something that we could work on together. Just by using this one product, it is going to make a world of a difference. The second thing are eye drops. This is something that not too many people talk about, but making sure your eyeballs are white just makes you look better. Now, I'm not necessarily saying that white eyeballs are attractive, but it's more so about the opposite. Having red and drained eyes, it just makes you look unhealthy, it makes you look tired. And I really think a key part about being more attractive is just being, again, more inviting and just making yourself look like you are full of life and energy. And I really do think that white eyeballs are a great way to do that. Now, side note, another thing that I noticed was that I thought my vision was going bad, but once I started using these, I realized that my eyesight wasn't going bad, but my eyes were just severely dehydrated. So I've been using this about twice a week. And again, I've been loving the results that I've been getting. You can get this on Amazon for about $5, so insanely affordable. This is definitely something that I recommend. The next thing is going to be a lip balm. Again, just the opposite of this. If you have chapped lips, it just looks gross. Not only are they insanely uncomfortable, but let's say you're hanging out with a girl. No girl's gonna want to kiss chapped lips. And sometimes it's more than just being hydrated. Sometimes you just need the extra nourishment on your lips, and therefore a good lip balm is the way to do it. Now, when it comes to lip balms, I really recommend staying away from chemicals. I absolutely hate chapstick. I hate most of the major brands. Most of the time, I'm just gonna use Vaseline, put this on my lips, especially when I'm going to sleep. Chances are I'm gonna wake up feeling my lips be very hydrated, so definitely makes a difference. But if you want to take it the extra step further, I recently just came across this lip balm. This is made with beeswax. I believe there's honey in there. This is the one that I've been using throughout the day, and I absolutely love this one. Again, you could find a pack of this one for around $10, so I really don't think there's any excuses. All of these items are insanely affordable. This next one is by far my favorite, and that is a good fragrance. In fact, I really don't step out the house unless I put on cologne. People are going to love to be around you. This is another thing that I get a ton of compliments with. So aside the fact that it's gonna make you more attractive, it's also a good way to break the ice. If somebody compliments the way I smell, that's an easy way to strike up the conversation. And who knows, this just might be the way that you find your future wife. Now, the thing is, colognes can get wildly expensive. There are so many major designers who sell them for at minimum $100 a bottle. So if you want an affordable way to try out designer or niche colognes, I highly recommend Scentbird, which is the sponsor of today's video. Let's just take, for example, the fragrance Morning Chess. This one smells so good, but the actual bottle goes for a minimum $200. That is a lot of money to be spending on one cologne. But because of Scentbird, I was able to get a 30-day supply for literally fractions of what the actual bottle goes for. This is just the perfect example of what Scentbird is. This allows you to try expensive fragrances without committing to that price tag. And you're always able to keep things fresh because Scentbird has over 900 bottles to choose from and tons of different brands like Parfums de Marly, Versace, Prada. These are big name brands that again go for a ton of money, but with Scentbird, since this is a subscription, you could try all these different brands every single month and quite literally be one of the best smelling guys wherever you go without spending a ton of money. So the ones that I got recently is again that Morning Chess. I absolutely love this one. I'm able to try out the Element, Nomad, and Free Yourself. These are all fantastic colognes that I could wear anywhere and pretty much on the daily basis. In fact, I heavily recommend this for those of you guys who are going to school. Colognes like these are fresh, they're subtle, they're not overpowering, so you could wear them on casual settings, again, like school. So if you want to try out any of the fragrances that I talked about or any of the other 900 bottles that they carry, you could try out your first month of Scentbird for only $8, and then it's $16.95 after that. That is more than 50% off your first month if you use this QR code right here or use the first link in the description. Again, if you've ever wanted to get into colognes but you didn't have the money, this is hands down what I'm recommending. All right, the next thing is going to be a good shampoo and conditioner. Now, for most guys, this is really just something that they get and don't really think twice about. But I'm saying it right now, this is one of the most important decisions that you can make that's going to change your appearance. Having the right shampoos and conditioners can make your hair look significantly better. So just like most things, I try to stay away from really harsh chemicals, especially in the shampoo. Oh, and speaking about this, there should not be such thing of a 2-in-1 shampoo and conditioner. I feel like at this point, every guy should know this, but if you're still using a 2-in-1, now's the time to change that. Shampoo is designed to completely clean out your hair. And conditioner, this is supposed to hydrate your hair. Again, doesn't make sense to combine these. And I only use shampoo about twice a week, and then every single day I condition my hair. I use Base Body Works. I don't care what brand you use. In fact, what I really recommend is trying a few different brands and seeing which one responds best to your hair. And I would even try different shampoos and conditioner based on your hair type, whether you have straight hair, curly hair, or wavy hair. Now, staying in the same topic about hair, another thing you need to really glow up are good hair products. Again, this really depends on what type of hair type you have, and especially what type of hairstyle you want to try. So as of lately, I've been doing kind of this 70-30 split. And because of this, I want something to texturize my hair, give me some extra waves, and therefore I've been using sea salt spray. Now, I kind of alternate between the two bottles that I have, one from Forte and one from Based. I really do like both of these. And the thing is, I've tried a bunch of different sea salt sprays. I really don't notice too much of a difference. So I'm honestly gonna say it doesn't really matter what brand you decide to go with. I think sea salt spray in general is just a good option for most guys. Now, that is more for my more relaxed days. If I want to dress up a little bit nicer and really lock in my hair, one hair product that I'm gonna use is hair clay. Now, I mostly use this one from Based. This one does have cleaner ingredients. I really do like this one. When it comes to hair clay, a little bit goes a long way. But keep in mind, like I said, I'm really only using this if I really want to lock in my hair to look a specific way. All right, the next product you need is a good cleanser. Skincare is super important. In fact, this is probably going to be one of the first things people notice about you. Again, I've tried so many different skincare products. The number one product that I recommend is actually the most affordable cleanser that I've ever tried, and it's this one from The Ordinary. I use this twice a day, once when I wake up and once right before I go to sleep. When it comes to skincare, I would honestly say that the more you spend on a good cleanser doesn't really matter. Of course, the ingredients are wildly important, and again, this one from The Ordinary is a fantastic option, but the one thing that's going to make a huge difference is actually being consistent with your skincare. So again, just make sure that you're using it twice a day, and eventually you are going to notice that your skin is going to clear up. It's going to be a lot more clean. Any of the products that I'm talking about in this video is going to be linked in the description, by the way, or right here on YouTube Shopping. So the thing is, after you cleanse your face, this is also stripping away the natural oils in your face. So you're going to notice it's going to be a little bit more dry, which is totally normal. This is why you need a good moisturizer. Again, The Ordinary has a fantastic one, but for the daytime, the number one product that I use is this one from Anua, and that's because this is not only a moisturizer, but it has an SPF of 50. I don't know if you've ever seen any other sunscreens with an SPF this high, but this one has made a huge difference. And since this one has hyaluronic acid, it does a great job of moisturizing my skin. All right, the next product that I recommend is a Philips Norelco. Cleaning up your facial hair is one of the most important things that you could do because it is really easy to fall behind and then just make yourself look messy, look really sloppy, and then borderline homeless sometimes. I've done this plenty of times. In fact, a lot of times I convince myself that I want to try growing out a beard, but then it just eventually gets to the point where I'm like, wow, I look terrible right now. So I cave in, I shave my face, and 8 times out of 10, when I shave my face, I'm probably using the Philips Norelco. Using this, I don't need any shaving cream, I don't need water. I've just noticed it's the most effective way to clean my face in pretty much the least amount of time possible. All right, the next product is going to be a Whoop. And the reason why I heavily recommend this is because this one product quite literally changed my life. I think if there's one thing that's gonna make the biggest difference in your appearance or life in general is getting the right amount of sleep. So investing into a tracker that gives you insane amounts of data points when you're sleeping, that is going to help a ton. Now, the one that I use is a Whoop, but there's plenty of them out there. In fact, there's even rings that you can get to track your sleep. But since I work out quite often, I do prefer having it on my wrist rather than a ring on my hand. And another product that's gonna make a huge difference is a good body wash. If you struggle with back acne or body acne in general, investing into a good body wash and really scrubbing, that's cleaned up my acne and it's made me look so much better. In fact, when I was younger, I used to struggle with this a lot. And I remember being very insecure to take off my shirt because I had a lot of acne on my back, on my chest, chest, and even my shoulders. And sure, to this day, I still struggle with this at times, but whenever I use a good body wash consistently, I notice it starts to clear up, and therefore this is probably one of those items that I really can't live without. Again, you can get a very affordable one on Amazon. In fact, most of these products you can find right here on Amazon. And like I said, it doesn't cost a ton of money to glow up. Thanks again so much to Scentbird for sponsoring today's video. Again, you could try these out using the first link in the description and use code 55Aaron for 55% off your first month at Scentbird. But if you do have the extra money to spend on items that will really change your life, here's a video about the 10 best items that I've ever bought.